Hello everybody, hope you're having an amazing day, and today I'm going to be going through my top 10 book recommendations. I've kind of got like a bit of a basic taste, but whatever. But honestly, these books, like out of all of these are my like top 10 favourites, and I really like them. Most of them are kind of like summary books, but I will get into the details in a minute about them all, so I don't want to like say all at the start. And anyways, see you in the top one. So I said I was going to be doing top one first, but then I just realised it makes more sense to go top 10 to top one, so scratch that. But for the first book I'm choosing for top 10, honestly, like, I like it a lot, but it's just not great enough to be like top first. It's kind of like really known, it's on Netflix series, and it's this one, and I do really like it, but then like I felt like the sequels just weren't that good, so I would recommend it, but it's not like a top one recommendation. I mean, one of my, like, I wouldn't say it's bad because one of my friends like really likes it for a top, like it's one of her top books, but personally I don't know, it's like it's good, but like the sequel just doesn't live up to the first one. Like, that's all I'm gonna say, because I'm about to do a sequel series which does live up to the first one. Okay, so this one's really popular, and I'm putting this in top 9, but like I would put it higher, but I just said I'd do a sequel thing there. So this one, in honor, like, I'm happy to put this in the video because a new movie's coming out for it like next year. I think it's The Sunrise Reaping. Let's kind of give it away, but it's The Hunger Games. I think, yeah. I've put the first book on here. I do have the other ones. I think it's actually in this pile. I've got Catching Fire in this pile, but I can't find the last one. But these are just like, it's been around for so long because it's so good, and like I absolutely love the movie they released last year. I haven't actually read that book yet, it's on my list. What's it, like The Songbird of the Birds? But for this read, I just love it. Like, I think Katniss's character is so amazing. Like, I'm not really that much into like the pen Peter and Katniss thing. I'm more like into the characters. Like, I'm I don't know, I'm not that into the ships, to be honest. Like, I feel like it was kind of random. I feel like it would have been better as just like a dystopian book on its own. I don't know. But anyways, moving on to the next one. Next on here is one of my favourite authors, but like this book's like one of the like lower books because it, like, I've got some of her other books higher up in the list, and like it is nice, but it's like a groundhog trope, which I'm not like that big of a fan of, but I do think she did it really well. It's The Do-Over by Lynn Pater, and it's like a cute fluffy romance. Like, I don't know, like, it's really cute when you read it. Like, sometimes it kind of like cheeses you out, but like it cheeses you out in a good way, if you know what I mean. Like, you sat there and you're like getting a bit giddy, you're like, because it's just like cute like that. But I'm probably gonna do a reread of this because I don't remember quite exactly the storyline. I do think, well, I can't give it away, but like basically a crash happens and she keeps reliving this crash. Like, it's on the back cover, but it is cute for a groundhog trope, which I'm not a fan of. Next one on the list is They Both Die in the End. In this book, right, like, this was so trendy in what, like 2020 or 2021, and like it was really good, but like I actually don't do that well with sad books. Like, they make me really sad, and like knowing the characters were gonna die in the end really did like kind of, like, the title gives it away, but do you know what I mean? Like, when I was reading it, I didn't want to get like too attached because I was like, they're gonna die, which just, like, I don't know, like, it was really hard to read because I was like, oh, I love them too much. Like, I love the characters, like, I don't want them to die, honestly. But apart from that, it's a really good book. Next one I'm gonna put on here has some really popular Netflix movies, and like I do really like it, but I feel like the writing's not that good descriptive wise. But the movies are like one of my favourite movies, but the writing in it's not like, it's To All I Loved Before by Jenny Han, and like I will say this, like, I really do like this book, but I'm not that big a fan of Jenny Han's writing. Like, I read The Summer I Turned Pretty, and like I just had to stop halfway through because it was kind of boring. Like, it's like sometimes it feels a bit like basic. That's all I got really to say. Anyways, moving on to the next book. Okay, so the next one, right, okay, right, I've just dropped it, so I'm gonna have to pick it up, but this book did make me cry, and I just think it's such a sad story, but like if you read it, like, I don't know, like, now whenever I see someone who's like kind of like lonely in school, I feel so bad, and I just think of this book and like it just kills me. Like, this book changed my perspective. Like, I think this made me a more empathetic person, and like it's probably not correct to say I am a kind person, but this book made me realize like how much can actually be going on in someone's life, and you just would look over it. And I just think this is like such a good read, and I think all teenagers should be mandatory to read this because I just think it helps your emotional intelligence. Right, why is my light just turned off? Great, sorry about that, guys. I feel like the light turning off there has just kind of like ruined the mood because I like this cozy yellow light and that one's just not. Anyways, you don't care about that. Moving on to the next book. This is again by Lynn Taylor, and earlier in her book, a bit later, like top 9 or something, I don't know now, but these books, honestly, they made me believe in romance again, because I was just thinking, oh, everybody's awful till I read these books. Because honestly, better than the movies. This one is a bit more sad, I will say, but it just makes the ending so much more rewarding. Well, this one is just everything you need. She's like a lover girl. She's such a romance girl. So she's always into movies and books, and like she's just kind of like doing her own thing. She obsesses over boys, and Liz is just such a cute character. Like, her mother passes away early on in the book, like before, like her books before, like her mother passes away before the book starts. And like, instead of just putting it in there and then not doing anything with it, it actually does like dive into how that changes her as a person, which I think is really well done, instead of just saying like her mother's dead for pity points, because I don't like when like shows and books do that. I think it's just bad writing. So this book is the book of the summer for me. Whenever summer is upcoming, I read this book because this just transports me to another realm where I just love life. So I was not a Taylor Swift fan. Then I read this book and there's so many like homages to her. So I started listening to her songs, and now I associate her songs with this book. So her songs give me serotonin, because this book is that good. Like, it's that perfect like holiday getaway book. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be, I live in the UK. It's super depressing. You want to be living in like a cute little farm and like doing all this stuff. This book will take you there. And it is honestly, I wish there was a sequel. It's such a good book on its own, but like, I just wish there was a sequel. Like, one time in my head I made it up because I wanted it so bad. I was like, yeah, that book is the sequel. It's not. The characters, it's amazing. It's got a focus on family. It's just the cutest book ever. Like, even look at the cute cover. Like, I love the cover. I always put this out as decor. I know I don't really care. It's so great. And lastly, for my number 1 of all of these books is It Only Happens in the Movies. Her character is just like so like, when I first read it, I was going through a rough time, and then I read this book and she just got it. Like, the character in this, like, you have the romance, but then I'm not saying it's like a fluffy romance, because it's not like spicy at all really, but it's just kind of like more realistic, and it feels a bit more like raw. Like, it feels like this would happen in the real world. So like, reading this, like, in the end I did get upset because I was like, felt so bad for her, because I just love this character so much and she deserved more, honestly. But I am happy there's like a story out there that like someone could read and resonate with and like feel like, oh well, at least it gets better. Like, that's it.